liter petrol. Now, if I withhold the same cash of 70 to 80 rupees, I will not get 1 liter of petrol. Okay, so the cash is same, but the commodity that you are going to purchase has been very decreasing. This is because this is called as an inflation. This is simply put, you can say it as an increase in the prices, and which will decrease the purchasing power of a money. Okay, like you guys understood what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
take it
yes.
as is. Yeah, you should check the inflation rate in India from 1999 to 2009 from the Statistical Department organization. It is around average inflation rate is 6.66 percentage. Okay, and I'll tell, like, can anybody tell me like what is the return? What is the return that savings bank will give?
2 to 3%.
Yeah, correct. Now because of Corona, they have decreased very less. Before they used to give 4%. Now they have decreased that also. And what is the return you'll get on fixed deposits?
Somewhere between 5 to 6, and that too they have decreased this year.
Yeah, true. And various other investments you can say like PPF. What is the return on investment that you'll get on the PPF, Public Provident Fund? Where if you are an employee, then you'll get to know what is PPF. They used to deduct every month your amount. Okay, PPF also there they used to give only some around 8% is the maximum. Okay, so if you take the return on investment, the return that you are getting from that investments, it is very less. And when you compare it with the inflation that we already have. Okay, suppose 6.6% is the inflation. If you are getting savings bank interest, if you go and invest in the savings bank, you'll get only 2 to 3%. And my average inflation rate is 6%. It means net loss actually. And even FD or even any sort of investment that you will take, if you compare it with the inflation, it will be the net return will be around some 2 to 3% excess. Okay, other than the stock market or real estate, land value. So the basic idea here is that inflation kills the return on investment. Okay, so it reduces the return on investment, even though you would have got 4% or ideally for 6%, whatever it may be. But when you compare with the inflation thing, your return on investment will ultimately get reduced. So inflation actually is a negative point for while carrying out any investment activity. The first thing you have to check is the inflation. You have to keep in mind the return that you are getting is not the actual return. You have to compare it with the inflation as well. Okay, and next thing is the money. Like who don't want money? Okay, everyone here are working for money, and the stock market basically everyone will come for the money. So coming for the money is okay, but in what way you are going to earn? Okay, that depends. So here you can earn passive income as well, or you can make a good chunk of money. So how a passive income can be earned, or how you can make a good chunk of money? Passive income can be earned by doing trading generally. Okay, trading I'll explain you in detail further by trading the stocks and all, and how to create a wealth. Wealth creation can be done by going and investing on by doing value investing instead. I can say by value investing in a certain companies, the companies that you believe which are fundamentally strong. Okay, by this you will generate your money or you increase the value of your money. Okay, so if you held the cash as it is, it will definitely at last it will lose its value over the period of time. Okay, so the cash loses its value in the long run. Whereas if you held it in another form, like or in the shares or in any other form, or you go to the savings bank, it will at least generate some value out of it. Okay, generate some return. So that is the point with regard to the money. Okay, next one is that power of compounding. Okay, so can anyone tell me what is the like if any of the finance students are there, then then they get to know. Okay, no problem. If anyone are there, can you tell me what is the compounding or what is the power of compounding? Some of you might have heard like power of compounding is because of the power of compounding, stocks will get increased like that. Okay, so can anyone? No problem. Can anyone tell me what is the power of compounding? Hello. Yeah. think all of you might have known, but no one is replying. Fine. I'll tell you. Okay, what is the power of compounding? Just I'll explain you with the sheet that I've already presented. Just a minute. Yeah, is it visible for you? Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It was.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, fine. So you take this like this chart that I've done. If you take a fixed deposit, I've taken an investment of 1 lakh, okay, and the rate of return is 7.5%. And example, it's not like now they are not going to give 7.5%. It is very huge. They are giving only just 5 to 6%, and the term is 10 years. Same thing I've taken for the Bajaj Finance. Bajaj Finance. How many of you know Bajaj Finance? At least name.
Hi,
Yeah.
Rupesh.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Shirish,
We've heard.
Yeah. You heard the name, right? Bajaj
Yeah.
Finance. There is one company called the Bajaj Finance. Okay. I've taken that as an example, Bajaj Finance. So if you take the share price, it is around at the April 1st, 2011, it is around 70 rupees. Okay. And the same investment, 1 lakh investment I have taken. I've computed the return, okay, on daily basis or like on yearly basis, how much return you can generate. So for 1 lakh investment, you would have earned first year 7,500, and your maturity value is 1 lakh 7,500. And later on the 1 lakh 7,500, 7.5% is 1 lakh 15,563. So over the period of time, if you check the interest from 7,500 to it has been increased to 14,379. Why? Because the rate is same. The 7.5% is the same. But on what amount you are computing that return? First you have computed on 1 lakh. And after that you have calculated it on 1 lakh 7,500. Okay. So this is called as generally the compounding interest. Okay. So if you do the compounding interest, after 10 years, you'll get a return of your maturity value will be 2,06,103. So if you invest in an FD at a 7.5% at a cumulative interest rate, then your money will double in 10 years. Okay. So that is the case. And I'm taking a Bajaj Finance. Okay. Bajaj Finance, if you take the share price, based on the share price, I'm explaining you. If you take the share price on the 1st April 2012, it is 85 rupees. And your investment has jumped 1,21,429. And later 115 and 170, 400, 700, and 117, 141 goes on. And now it is around 5,272. So if you would have invested rupees 1 lakh in April 1, 2011, at the time of our World Cup, we have won the World Cup, right? At that time, if you had invested 1 lakh, then your investment value would have been 75 lakh 31,429 without any dividends. If I add any dividends, you'll get a more return again. Okay, so that is the case. Okay, well, we'll come to our power of compounding. Here I have taken the rate of 7.5%. That is fixed. Okay, so now if you take the Bajaj Finance, why the share price has been tremendously increased from 1st April 2012 to 1st April 2021? Can anybody tell me why the share price has been increased? Let's guess. From just 40 rupees, it has become 5,000. Okay, so it's not an easy task to make. It's not an easy thing. Just like that, it can't go and it can't become right. So, what is the magic behind this? From 40 to 5,000 rupees. Can anyone? Okay. Let me tell you. If you are going to invest in a company, it means you are a shareholder, okay, equity shareholder. It means you are the owner of the company, as part owner of the company. It's not a full owner. You are the part owner of the company. So whatever the funds that you are giving it to the company, it will invest and it will generate some return every year. So here in my case, it is only 7.5% in case of fixed deposit. But in case of a Bajaj Finance, over the period of time, if you take the return on the return that the Bajaj Finance is getting by doing their business properly, it's more than 7.5%. If you take the average return that Bajaj Finance has generated, it is more than almost it is nearly 20%. If you take the last 10 years average, I don't have the data as of now. If you take that 20%, so take the average of 20% here and you multiply your 1 lakh into this one same like this, you will get the operations or the Bajaj Finance, the customer value that it is giving and how effectively it is working. That all based on that, the share price has been increased. Okay. So if a company performs well, your share price also will post good. This will not happen in all the cases. This will happen most of the cases. I can't assure you this one. That also I'll explain in further detail. So have you understood why this has been a tremendous increase in the share price? So it entirely depends upon the company's operations, how it performs. If it performs very well, definitely it's going to have a positive impact on the share price of the company. Okay. Hello, understood? Can anybody validate?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. If you have any doubts, you can ask me. It's not like please tell me. Okay, no problem. I'll stop in within and just tell you. Okay, fine. And this is the power of compounding. Okay, and next, I think you have understood what is the power of compounding and how this one compounds. Okay, right? And here I want to tell you one thing. Okay, in stock market you will generate return in the form of increase in the share value. That means if you buy at 100 rupees, if it goes for a 200 or 300 rupees, the net difference that return you're going to get. Suppose for example 100 rupees you have bought at 100 rupees and you're going to sold at 300 rupees. Okay, the difference of 200 rupees is the profit. In addition to this, every year or every quarter, the company distributes a dividend as well. Suppose, for example, company have got a profit of some 200 crores. Out of some 200 crores, it may decide to distribute some 100 crores. Okay, some 100 crores. It's not to the definite person; it's to all the equity shareholders who have hold the shares of the company. So this is also one type of return which we'll ignore. So remember this: both the returns we are supposed to consider. Then only you'll get the exact return on investment that what you've got from by investing in the stock market. Okay. So having given this background, I'll ask you one thing. Okay. Is it visible, no? Like Bajaj Finance ITC? Hello?
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Yeah.
It is visible.
So if you take the Bajaj Finance, how many of you knew ITC? First tell me that.
I knew. I've heard about it.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. What about it?
Yeah. ITC is like an Indian tobacco company. I think how many of you know this one, Dark Fantasy? No one knows Dark Fantasy.
Sunfish Dark Fantasy.
Yeah, Sunfish Dark Fantasy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, nah? Okay, fine. How many of you know Bingo?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mad Angles.
Yeah.
Bingo Mad Angles. Yeah. These the brands that you have just told you, those are under the name of a ITC company only. Okay. ITC, Indian Tobacco Company. That company has three major businesses. One is like a tobacco, selling the tobacco or tobacco products like cigarette, etc. And next one is the FMCG products, and next one is the hotels. Okay. So major revenue it is generating from for tobacco by selling the tobacco products and this one FMCG. And in tobacco business, it is almost a monopoly. Okay, no one is there to touch Indian Tobacco Company. So having given this background, you can check what is the share price of Bajaj Finance. Same 85.2, it became to 5,272. When it comes to ITC, if you check 152 rupees, from 152 rupees, it just only became 220 rupees. Okay. So can you tell me the reasons why it has not been increased from 152? And ITC is an excellent company. Okay, I'm already telling you, ITC is a good company. It does not have any negative things. It has negative things except that cigarette business, but it is also going well and it is under monopoly. So having said this, can you just tell me why the power of compounding has not been applied here? Wild guess. Anyone?
So is it a possibility that company don't pay attention on this side?
Pay attention on this side. Generally, companies doesn't think about when it comes to the operations. It mostly think about this one. Okay, like how to make the company very well, how to earn the targets like that. Based on this, the share price also moves. Okay, so they won't care. Normally, they won't care about the stock price. Or its promoters may care about the stock price, but as a company, they won't care. Sorry. Hello. Yeah, I'll tell you why. So just now I told you, like suppose for example, a company got a 200 crores of profit, and it has distributed 100 crores of profit to its shareholders. Okay, thus that 100 crores is called as a dividend. That is one form of a return. See, in Bajaj Finance, suppose for example, they've got a 200 crores of profit, and they have distributed only some 50, not even 50, some 10 to 15 crores of profit to the shareholders in the form of a dividend. Okay, so the remaining amount, whatever they have, say for example 185 crores, they have again reinvested into that company only, and they have made the company very like good. Okay, and whereas in case of ITC, suppose they have 200 crores and they have given almost 100 crores to the shareholders, and 100 crores only they are keeping, and based on that they are building up their company. Okay, so since the 100 crores, this has not happened only 1 year. In case of ITC, it's a very good dividend yielding stock. It has been happening over the period of time, not even from 1st April 2012 or 1st April 2021. So when it gives back to its shareholders the money in the form of a dividend, the percentage got that company is like withholding, and it is used to generate excess return, it will get decreases. Suppose for example, it has a profit in percentage terms. I'll tell you some 15% the profit it has. Out of the 15%, it has given almost some 10%. Now it has only 5% of the excess funds. With the 5% of excess funds, the company cannot gain much. Whereas in case of a Bajaj Finance, in terms of share price, I'm talking about. And in terms of a Bajaj Finance, it has a 15% return, and it has only given 1 to 2%, and it is withholding some 13%, and again reinvesting in such company. So the basic thing is that the power of company works when you again reinvest in the same company. Okay. So in ITC, it has not happened. It is investing, but it is very less than compared to the Bajaj Finance. Okay. Have you understood, or if you want to repeat, I will repeat you.
No, sir. You got your point.
Yeah. Anyone else? Any doubts you have as of now? So this is the basic thing. Okay, first, and next one is the Vaika concept is over. Okay, and I'll tell you. Just a minute. Okay, so this quote everyone would have heard: "The compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it. He who doesn't pays for it." This is the quote given by the Albert Einstein. Okay, so actually it's a eighth wonder of the world only because with this only you're getting that much of amount. Okay, so having this understood, I think everyone got this very clear on this. What is the compound interest, and how it works? Because this quote I've been hearing from my class to 11th onwards, but I don't know at the time what it is. Okay, so by the time when I'm investing it in the stock market, I've got to know like what is the compound interest, how it will work. Okay, so next one is the what. So when you heard about the stock market, the basic thing is the basic thing we'll get to know is, okay, you can invest in shares. Okay, you can invest in mutual funds or anything else other than this shares, mutual fund. These are everyone knows this one. Other than the shares and mutual funds, can anybody tell me what are the other avenues of investment that stock market has? Hello. Okay. Yeah. I'll proceed then. See, the stock market, everyone considers it as a only risky investments. Okay, actually, it's a blend of risky and riskless opportunities also. See, the shares and mutual funds, they are risky, and you can invest directly in the gold bonds and government securities also. Okay, this one no one knows this one. This one gold bonds and government securities, and you can invest directly in the corporate bonds and debentures. Okay, those are another sort of investments where you can make where you'll get a fixed return fixed return. In case of a gold bonds and the government securities and corporate bonds, you'll get a fixed return. And whereas in case of a shares and mutual funds, you'll get a varied return based on the performance of the company and performance of the mutual fund. Okay. Then can you tell me what do you mean by share? Actually, what do you mean by share? I don't know. Okay, share क्या होता है?
Part of the company.
Yeah, true.
Part of ownership of a company.
Yeah, correct, Rishikesh. Okay, so when you take a company, when you take the funds of the company, it's a company's ownership. Okay, if you are holding a share, it is nothing but you are holding the ownership of the company. Okay, suppose for example, the company has 1,000 shares and you hold 100 shares and you are the 10% shareholder in such company. Okay, so by holding the 10% shares in such company, you can generate your return and you can take your decisions now in general. Okay, that is the concept of a shares. Okay, what is meant by mutual funds then? Hello, what is meant by mutual funds?
बेसिकली हमें कुछ काम नहीं करना रहता है, सिर्फ हम लोग को इन्वेस्ट करना रहता है, मतलब विद द हेल्प ऑफ ब्रोकर.
Correct. Okay. Anything else other than this?
Shall I add to it?
Yeah. No problem.
Yeah, so mutual fund is nothing, but it is a kind of pooling vehicle which pools money from different small investors, and herein we get the benefit of investing together, and there's always a benefit of economies of scale. So
Yes.
mutual fund always get that benefit of economies of scale. So I'd like to explain it with a small example.
Yeah.
Suppose if you're selling a stock, right, and उसके ऊपर जितने भी charges होते हैं, take it to be STT charges or any other charge, while or brokerage charge when you're selling it, right? तो वो charge रहेगा. But अब हम लोग bulk में कोई चीज sell करते हैं, क्योंकि mutual fund company sells on behalf of you. So वो जो charge का level होता है वो कम हो जाता है, and the level of risk also reduces down. So mutual fund and CRISP, if I explain, it is nothing but investing together with group of people which are like-minded. And there are two type of mutual funds. So it's either you are handling it. I just abhi said no कि हमें करना पड़ता है. So it's not हमें करना पड़ता है. There are two types. One is either you are investing or guiding the mutual fund company कि भाई इस company में पैसा डालो, मैं बता रहा हूँ. Or it is up to them. एक दूसरा होता है कि they decide कि हम आपके behalf पे डाल. You just give us money.
Yeah.
So one is direct and other is managed. So these are basic two types.
Yeah, absolutely correct. Like the major difference between the stocks and the share, like some mutual funds, is the diversification of the risk. Okay, when it comes to the mutual funds, you can diversify. You have 100 rupees and you have given it to the mutual fund manager. He'll invest in he'll invest in the wide range of companies. Suppose he'll invest 10 rupees in Infosys and like 5 rupees in this one in TCS. Like that, he'll diversify the risk. He won't put everything into one basket. He'll just diversify it in case of a mutual fund. Okay, but in case of a shares, if you want, it's your wish. Okay, you can invest wherever you want. You have 100 rupees, you can directly invest in one share, or you can, if you want, you can just split it, and 50 rupees you can invest in one share, 50 rupees in another share. Okay, so that is the thing. And as Vanshika Barlani said, the mutual funds generally, the thing is, the thing we manage and the thing the actually mutual fund managers, mostly the thing what the mutual fund managers are been going on in the stock market. Okay, so if you want to manage yourself, like go and invest in this stock, okay, then that will be kind of a portfolio management kind of thing. It's I think generally it's not been going on in the stock market as of now. It's like a portfolio management. Okay, and next thing is that okay, And the gold bonds and government securities, I'll just tell you later. Okay, so when it comes to the shares, there are two kinds of things, okay, investing and trading. So in case of investing, these are the three characteristics. Like you're going to generate the return in the investing. Generally, it will take long term only. Okay, by investing, if you want to generate money, means you'll get that return only in the long term. Generally, it's not like a basic rule. And how you'll analyze this is called as the fundamental analysis in case of an investing. And this entirely how you create a wealth, or as in case of Bajaj Finance, I've told, as the company is growing, as so and as the share price is also going. So it is how the wealth has been created. It entirely depends upon the performance of the company. If your share price has been increasing, means it depends on the performance of the company. If there is any like downfall in the performance of the company, it will definitely have an impact on the share price of the company as well. Okay, and next one is the trading. Okay, trading again, it ranges from intraday trading, we can call, okay, where you will buy and sell on the same date itself on the huge margins. Intraday trading, and you can buy and sell options as well, option trading. You can buy and sell futures. These are all again a different kind of segment where I'll take another session to explain. Okay, and sorry. Okay. And how? Yeah, just a minute. Share. Yeah, like in the here the how you generate money is basically based on the technical analysis. Okay, technical analysis is the analyzing charts and patterns of the shares. It has nothing to do with the business of the company. On the one day, how the share price is moving. Okay, based upon that only you can generate the money here. There are lots of strategies to make in the trading. Okay, whatever the thing that will apply to one stock does not apply to the strategy that will apply to one stock will not apply to the another stock. There are various kind of strategies. Okay, in case of a technical analysis, here you can generate the passive income. Okay, suppose for example daily you can trade and you can earn some money in case of a trading. So first I'll tell you what is the basics of a fundamental analysis. Okay, then we'll go further. So what is meant by your balance sheet? Have you heard of these terms, balance sheet, profit and loss, and cash flow statement before?
Yes.
Yeah, actually balance sheet, and I'll elaborate what is meant by balance sheet. Balance sheet is nothing but a assets, list of assets and the liabilities. Okay, so what is meant by asset? What is meant by a liability? Asset is the application of the funds, and liability is the sources of the funds. From liability you'll generate a source of money and you'll invest in some activity that is called as an application of funds. The list of that is called as the balance sheet. General explanation that I can give you what is balance sheet. And with regard to the profit and loss, the daily operations of the yearly operations of the company, how much profit, how much cost you get, how much sales you have done, expenses, sales minus expenses, you get the profit, general view. And next, cash flow statement. Cash flow statement I'll explain you further. Okay, I'm going to give you a brief idea about what is in the balance sheet by taking you through ITSICA annual report. Yeah, is it visible? Hello? Hello?
Yes, it's visible.
Yeah, this is balance sheet of the ITC. Okay, so this is the actually balance sheet is classified into a current. When it comes to the balance sheet, assets have been classified into non-current assets and current assets. Non-current assets you can term it as a long-term assets, and not long-term actually. non-current asset and current assets. Okay, non-current assets through which will generate more income. When it comes to the current assets are like inventory like a stock and any debtors that you are going to receive. Okay, that is a part of the operating cycle of the company. Current assets. And non-current assets is not a part of the operating cycle of the company. It generally, suppose for example, take for example any human being. What is the asset? What is the fixed asset that every human may have? Okay, generally, house is the fixed asset. Okay, house is the fixed asset, and lands are the fixed assets. That will generate. That will not generate any. That will generate a long-term value for us. Okay, and when it comes to normal any current assets, a human has. That regard to like refrigerator or this one AC. These are all the current assets where you are going to pay some expenditure for that in the daily operating cycle of yours. Okay, so when it comes to the liabilities, it has been divided into equity and liabilities, also non-current and current liabilities. Equity is nothing but the shareholders part. Okay, this belongs to us. This 64,029 crores belongs to all the equity shareholders. So, and next, these liabilities, non-current liabilities and current liabilities. Current liabilities are trade payables and short-term loans, everything. Okay. So those are this is the balance sheet. And so if you check the balance sheet, this one comprises of 75,235 crores value total assets and liabilities value of the ITC. Okay. And this is the statement of profit and loss, revenue from operations. It has generated almost 46,807 crores from only 75,000 crores of total assets. Okay, from revenue operations. And other income, and these are the list of expenditures. Every company will have. Just I want to give a general view of what it is. Okay, to the non-finance background people, they'll understand. This is the profit and loss, and this is the cash flow statement. Cash flow from operations. Cash flow statement is divided into cash flow from operations, cash flow from investing, and cash flow from financing activities. That I'll explain you. Okay, what is meant by cash flow from operations, and cash flow from investing and cash flow from financing activities. Suppose, for example, I'll explain this. Yeah, cash flow from operations are normal cash that you will generate from by doing the operations of the company. Okay, suppose for example ITC, I've told you already, it has three kind of businesses. How much the amount that it is generating from by doing the daily operations. And cash flow from investing activities nothing but how much cash flow is again actually cash inflow and cash outflow. Okay, if it is a positive, it is cash inflow, and if it is a negative, it is a cash outflow. Cash flow from investing activities, it may be positive or it may be negative. If it is a positive, that means there is a cash inflow. It means you have sold any of the assets, any of the non-current assets. Okay, that is in your balance sheet. Example I'm telling, it's not entirely. And cash flow from financing activities will be like if you have taken any loan, then it is an inflow for you. Then it will become positive. Okay, so if you check here in the first case, everything is a positive. Cash flow from operations, cash flow from investing, cash flow from financing activities. It means total cash the company has is almost 6,50,000. So this may be the one scenario. And here in the cash flow from operations 3 lakhs, and the cash flow from investing negative 1,50,000, and the financing activities 2 lakhs. So you can think of this way how to analyze a cash flow statement. Okay, so how to analyze a cash flow statement? Suppose for example I have an operation cash flow of some 2 lakh rupees. Okay, 2 lakh rupees of a cash flow from operations, and financing act. How I'm going to spend this cash flow from operations? That is the first point you have to raise in your mind. Either by repaying the debt if I have already debt, or by investing in further. Investing further. If I repay debt, then the financing activity, cash flow from financing activities will be negative. And if I invest further, then the investing activities will become negative. So the basic thing is that the cash flow of, if a company has a cash flow from operations positive, then you can think it as a positive sign. Okay, and cash flow from operations positive, and this one financing activities negative and investing activities negative means then it is a very good sign, because the company is paying out its debt and as well as it is investing by from its cash flows from operations only. So cash flow from operations will play a crucial role while analyzing performance of the company generally. Okay. And anybody have any doubts, you can ask me.
Yeah, may I ask one?
Yeah.
Yeah, my basic question is when I used to I used to analyze cash flow statement earlier in my college days. So my ma'am told me one thing that की operating activities वैसे किसी company का negative जाना नहीं चाहिए और जाता भी नहीं है. So is it true that cash flow from operations never goes negative? And second question is कि cash flow from investing activities एक लिमिट होती है ना एक कंपनी का इन्वेस्ट करने की. Like how much this amount should be negative, मतलब कितना negative investing activities होना चाहिए. Look, when you are investing there is always outflow of cash. When there is outflow of cash, obviously this is gonna be shown as cash use. तो ये कितना इसका भी एक लिमिट होता होगा ना, how much?
Yeah, I'll explain to you. You can take an example of any startup. Okay, suppose for example, have you heard of a CRED? CRED. Anshika?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you heard of the name of the company called CRED? It is a startup actually.
Yeah, the company which is a unicorn, but it's facing huge losses.
Yeah. Huge losses. Okay. So if you take any of the startup company, I'll explain to you why whatever the ma'am you told is cash flow from operations will never become negative. That is absolutely wrong. Okay. Cash flow from operations will also become negative. I will show you many like listed companies for financials where they have cash flow from operations negative. How it will become negative means the expenditure that they held is more. Suppose for example how they got that expenditure. That the question that you can raise. Suppose for example take the CRED. It is in the huge losses as you only told. Okay. Huge losses means in terms of loss it has a huge loss, and in terms of expenditure it is incurring also. It has been incurring so much of expenditure through advertisements. How they get the money? Through this financing activities only. Suppose for example they have decided that I'm going to spend some 200 crores in the current year for the advertisement, and they have only some 100 crore, suppose 50 crores of revenue. Okay, 50 crores minus this one 200 crores, you'll get some 150 crores negative. How these people are going to get that 150 crores revenue means either only the one way is through financing activities only. If you consider at the time, if you check the financing activities, there the financing cash flow from financing activities would have been positive. Okay, because that income, that cash they would have received from this one investors, and they would have incurred this expenditure. Okay, that's how it will get routed from financing activities to the operations. Okay, every activity has an interlink. Cash flow from operations, investing, and financing. Every activity has an interlink. Okay, I think you have got your point. If you want, I will explain you further.
Yeah, I got your first point actually. This is the answer for my first question, that operating can be negative or not. But my second question is कि जो investing activity है, it should go कितना negative? मतलब एक होता है ना limit होती है हर चीज की. एक बार cross हो गया तो?
Yeah, it depends. Actually, depends upon the decisions that the board of directors will take in the company. Okay, they may take, like suppose for example in this year. They'll have some budgets. Okay, based on the budgets, I'll get an operating activities of some 200 crores. On the 200 crores, they may plan in such a way that out of this 200 crores, I may incur 100 crores for investing activities. I'll go and invest. I'll go and purchase some lands. In case of ITC, I'll go and purchase some hotels. Okay, so it's not like a bar. It entirely depends upon the decisions that the company is going to take. There is no anything like okay, you are supposed to incur only this much of amount, but it depends entirely on the board of directors decision making of the company. It may become positive and it may become negative as well. Clear?
Got your point. But one more question to be asked. I'm so sorry for such simultaneous questions. But when I have seen some companies which are having huge amount of positive like investment activities ka fund. So if the cash flow from investing activities overpowers the cash flow from operations, I mean to say, if company is getting huge amount of dividends, huge amount of interest from its investment sources, but that is overpowering its operating activities. So should we invest in that company because its investment part is strong, but his its own product is not working that well?
I'll suggest if it has been happening over the period of 3 years or say suppose for example 2 years or 3 to 5 years, then you don't invest in the company because the main product of the company is not been performing, and instead they're just taking the money and they're just investing in the some other as you told, there's some other they're making investments and they're generating money from that. Okay, suppose for example they have held that for idle funds. I'll give you an example. Suppose take Adani Green. Some hypothetical example I'll give. Take Adani Green. As of now, Adani Green doesn't have any revenue. Okay, but they have some funds. They have generated some funds through by taking loans. So suppose, for example, it has taken some 100 crores loan from the SBA. From 100 crores loan, it may incur it may not incur directly. Like this year, I'll incur just 100 crores. I'll incur my expenditure, something like that. It will not go like that. Out of the 100 crores, 20 crores, it will phase wise they'll incur. First year, I'm going to incur 20 crores. Next year, I'm going to incur 30 crores. Like that, it will happen. Then you'll have an ideal fund of some 80 crores in the first year. Then they may invest that 80 crores in some investments or some sort of investment, FDs or something like that. Okay. Through that they may generate revenue, but the point here you have to remember is that they have a future projects. Okay, they have a huge tremendous amounts of projects Adani Green has. If you go and check the financials now itself, they have actually lost. Okay, but they have huge projects. So if a company is not focusing mostly on you can't tell directly, okay, by seeing the balance sheet, okay, this company is not focusing on the operating activities. You have to check the other thing as well, whether the company has the future projects or not. Okay, if the company has future projects, then it is the case that, as you told, then you can just hold on, because as the company has future projects, it is going to generate some revenue, and at that time your cash flow from operations will exceed the cash flow from investing activities. Okay.
Yes, I got your point. Yeah, Adani Gas and Adani Green. So आपने notice किया होगा कुछ दिन पहले Adani was in a bull run in the market, and
Yes.
अभी now he is falling down. So people made predictions that Adani would touch 2000 ka bar in some time, but then suddenly it started dropping down because market में there were some rumors regarding, right, कि इसमें FIIs का इन्वेस्टमेंट है एंड डोमेस्टिक इन्वेस्टर्स आर नॉट इन्वेस्टिंग, ये सब चीजें थी. But there was also a rumor that people started comparing Adani with Tata on the basis of the values of the company. And they said due to values, domestic investors are not investing. So my question here is that is it really true that Adani values के मामले में Tata से बहुत पीछे है?
Adani, Tata, from my point of view, you can't compare, because basically Adani values I don't know. Okay, but to be frank, I don't know the Adani ka values, but Tata ka values absolutely I know, because I have been investing in the Tata companies. Okay, so I can't compare Adani ka values and Tata ka values, and it may have in markets there will be sentiments. Okay, so this is one kind of a sentiment that the people may have.
Yeah, I got your point now. So it's all about sentimental games.
Yeah, it depends. Like sometimes the daily fluctuation that will happen in the market, it entirely depends upon the yesterday some cases has happened. Corona cases has been increased. So yesterday the market is full down. Okay, so it depends. It depends on the activities that has been going on in the daily wise or the sentiments. So something like that. It need not be in the short run. It need not be entirely depends upon the fundamentals of the company, but in long run, it will automatically adjust with the fundamentals of the company.
True enough. That's what fundamental investors see.
Yeah. Done.
Thank
right?
you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah, done.
Yeah. Just a minute. the things that I've already showed you, this cash flow statement and all. And the financial metrics, okay. These are the ratios on which, if any one of you check the annual report of a company, these are the general ratios that will form: return on equity, EPS, EBITDA, operating cash flows, and interest coverage ratio, financial leverage. Just I'll give a brief about this. I'll not go further about that. Return on equity is nothing but the net return that the company is getting. Okay, net return to the equity shareholders. Okay, it's not like it's a total net income or PAT. Okay, profit after tax. PAT means profit after tax divided by shareholders' equity. In balance sheet, we have already saw this equity portion right here. The equity 64,029 crores. Okay, so take that 64,029 crores. This is shareholders' equity, and net income PAT is nothing but this last profit after tax. It's not visible. Okay, after profit after tax, you have to take that. By dividing that, you'll get a return on equity. And next one is the EPS. EPS is nothing but what is the earning per share. Per share, how much the company has earned in the current year. And this is the EBITDA. EBITDA, you can tell it as an operating profit. Okay. So by only considering sales and by only considering the direct expenditure and sometimes indirect expenditure as well, how much profit that the company has generated. That is the EBITDA. And if you brief it, earnings before interest, tax, and depreciation, that is made by EBITDA. And next, operating cash flows. Just I've told you, by doing the principal business of the company, how much the company has generated the cash. That will be called as the operating cash flows. Okay. And next one is the financial metrics. Another financial metrics, some other financial metrics, like interest coverage ratio. Take for example, interest coverage ratio. I'll just brief you some. Okay. If a company has a debt, okay, then it will definitely incur some interest cost in that. Which will be which will eat up the profit of the shareholders as well. But if you check, if any of you might have followed the market, the Reliance share price has been tremendously increased because of the one of the reason is that he has already stated that I am going to make Reliance as a debtless company in the future. Okay, debtless company by 2022. He has already told that in the annual general meeting 2 years back, and he has done that at the time of Corona. So when a company becomes a debtless, it has a tremendous future, like it has tremendous projects, then it will be a very positive thing where the interest cost will not incur. Like company will not incur interest cost at that time. The risk will get reduced. So interest coverage ratio is nothing but EBITDA divided by total interest or fixed finance cost. And this net profit margin is profit after tax. How much profit you have generated? Like suppose for example, sales I have 100 rupees and profit I have generated is 10 rupees. It means I have 10% margin. Okay, by doing my operations. And the financial leverage is nothing but how much equity when you compare it. If you take the case of this ITC, total assets they have 75,000 crores. Only shareholders equity comprises of 64,000 crores. It means almost there is no debt only in the company. Okay, entire thing almost belong to the shareholders. And this is asset turnover ratio. How much times it has like suppose revenue 200 rupees, revenue from operations, and average total assets take for example 100 rupees. So by incurring by taking the base as 100 rupees, the company has generated 2 times the revenue. So it is how it is, asset turnover. So those are the general jargons that will be used in the annual report. Just I want to give a brief about this. Next one is how to pick the best stock. The basic thing that you have to do is the fundamental analysis. Okay, and next is one of the things is the shareholding pattern. So promoters and FIS and DS, as already Vanshika told, FIS are nothing but foreign institutional investors, and DIs are nothing but domestic institutional investors. Okay, and new shareholding pattern. Why it is very important means, suppose for example, if a company is doing very well, in that case, if the promoters will hold the more percentage of share in such company. If you see any company where the promoters are holding many shares and where there is no pledge of shares, okay, promoters are not supposed to pledge their shares. That is, they can pledge their shares, but if they pledge their entire 100% shares, then it will become somewhat negative. Okay, so you can't take a risk if they pledge their shares because they are taking more loans from the companies. So at last they have pledged their shares itself. So shareholding pattern is very important, and the new contracts. Just I've told you the Adani Greenka example. If you take their balance sheet, they doesn't have anything, but they have a few new contracts, and it is going to, as per their contracts and the future dates that they have, it is going to install this one third largest solar power plant in the world. So that's how big it is. So that's why the share prices rally. And industry analysis. Just I want to brief you the industry part. Okay, industry analysis is nothing but taking a sector like if you take in the Corona last year, April 20 or March 2020, where the Corona had just started, and the entire investment has been. If you take the Sensex, it has been. If you take the Nifty, it has been down to 7,000 points. At that time, the only shares that has been very rising is only pharmaceutical stocks. Okay, because those are the main heart of this thing, entire Corona. If there is no pharmaceutical companies, I think we would not have survived here. So if you take industry, at what time you have to enter? Like suppose if you would have entered at the time of Corona in the pharmaceutical industry, definitely would have made profits. Okay, so industry analysis is very important, and that is with regard to this one. Shares. Coming to the mutual fund. Mutual funds, I'll give you a brief. I think we've been running out of time. 7:03. Okay, I'll tell you. Mutual funds, as I already have a brief about this. Mutual funds have been divided SIPs, systematic investment plans, where the systematic investment plans are nothing but generally I can tell you. If you want to invest, if you don't have any lump sum amount, okay. Suppose, for example, if you are an employee and if you have you're earning some 25,000 or 30,000 bucks, you can monthly you can invest some 1,000 rupees or 2,000 rupees in some of the fund that is called as a systematic investment plan. Okay, and in ELSS mutual funds. ELSS means equity linked savings scheme. These are the tax savings mutual funds, which will give 80C CAR benefit, Section 80C CAR benefit. If you invest in the mutual fund, in these types of mutual funds, then your tax will get reduced. And equity funds, where the mutual fund manager will only invest in the equity shares of the company. And in case of a debt funds, only in the debt debentures or corporate bonds or government securities, not government securities, corporate bonds and debentures. In case of a debt funds. Okay, so the mutual funds actually that is money. Some of you might have a myth that if you invest in the mutual fund, then the manager will take care for us. Okay, no problem. He will take care of that. It's not like that actually, because you have to, as it is your money, you have to keep an eye on your mutual fund as well, whether they have changed the portfolio or not. Okay, but half yearly they'll disclose you the portfolio that they have invested. Okay, if you have given some 1 lakh rupees ka investment to the fund manager, he would have invested in some list of companies that you have to take care of that, because some of the companies might have incurred loss. Suppose, for example, take suppose some Exca fund. Okay, if 1 lakh you have given, if he's investing almost some 80,000 in the Yes Bank, means then it will become a big negative for you as well. So you have to keep a watch on the portfolio of the mutual fund as well. Okay, so that is with regard to the mutual fund, and there is no guarantee of return. Okay, some may feel that okay, definitely you will get the return. There is no guarantee that the return is that you are going to get a certain percentage of return. What are the past that if you go and check the mutual fund, they will be disclosing. Okay, from 3 years, last 1 year I've been. My mutual fund is getting some 30% to 40% return. Past cannot be a replica for the future, right? So it entirely depends upon the future and depends upon the market. It is subject to market risk as advertisement. Next, these are the types of mutual funds. There's the equity oriented, where it will invest in equity, debt oriented, only in the debt, and index funds. Index funds are nothing but if you take a Nifty or a Sensex, it consists of this one. That is also sort of a portfolio. Okay, Nifty consists of 50 stocks. On the basis of some weighted average, they'll compute that Nifty 50 that points and all. Okay, index funds will do nothing but just take the weighted average of what the Nifty NSE people are doing for the Nifty 50, and they'll invest in the same pattern by creating a separate fund that is called as the index funds. And solution oriented funds. Solution oriented funds are like a retirement funds, or you have some after 10 years you want some money. Okay, you want some money for the business, something like that. Okay, so based on that, if they do, that is called as the solution-oriented funds. And fund of funds is nothing but investing in another fund. Okay, suppose Aditya Birla Mutual Fund is there and L&T Mutual Fund is there. L&T Mutual Fund will invest in the Aditya Birla Mutual Fund, that is called as the funds of funds. And the exchange traded funds is actually a mixture of shares and mutual funds as well. The main thing in mutual funds is even though there will be listed mutual funds, there will be unlisted mutual funds. It will be traded in the stock exchange, but you can't go directly buy as you go and buy the shares. Okay, so if you want to buy today, it will take there is called as a NAV, okay, net asset value. In case of a share, that is the share price. In case of a mutual funds, it is the net asset value. You have to buy at the NAV price. Okay, at the end of the day, if you quote an order now, at the end of the day, whatever NAV that is quoting in the market, it will take that NAV. And whereas in case of shares, it will change based on the minute to minute and second to second basis. In case of exchange traded mutual exchange ETFs, exchange traded funds, it is just like a mixture of shares and mutual funds where there is no NAV. There will be NAV, but you can buy it in between while during the market hours. And how to invest in this one stock market? Like normal thing, demat account and trading account. These are the two things that everyone should have to invest in the stock market. Okay, demat account is the dematerialized forms of shares. Before the shares are held in the physical form, now it is held in the digital form, that is called as a demat account. And trading account, what you are supposed to have is you have to trade that shares, like you have to buy and sell the shares, right? For that you have to have a trading account. These two you should have. And what are the requirements of that? Like Aadhaar card should be linked with this one, your phone number and the PAN card and 6 months bank statement and further details. If you go to any of the broker or Zerodha, you have list of Zerodha, Upstocks and 5 Paisa and this one Sharekhan, etc. Angel broking. These are the kinds of brokers that you have. So you can just directly Google it and you get to know. And this is the charges that charged by the brokerage company. When as I already told you, suppose for example 100 rupees ka stock you have bought a stock at 100 rupees and you have sold at 200 rupees. The return that you have got is called gross return. 100 rupees is the gross return. Okay. After that, again you have to deduct these charges as brokerage fees, transaction charges, STT and GST. Brokerage fees, it depends upon the broker. Actually, I'm using Zerodha and they won't charge any brokerage fees for the equity delivery. And in case of transaction charges, on 0.some% on the transaction value, and STT is the security transaction tax, and CT is the commodity transaction tax. If you trade the commodity, then CTT will apply. If you trade a security, shares or mutual funds, STT will apply. And you have to pay GST on this as well, brokerage fees and transaction charges. And other than this, the major expense for you is the AMC, annual maintenance charges, that will be charged by the broker. It will be around maximum 1,000 rupees per annum. That is the expenditure for you. That also you have to deduct. After deducting all this only, you'll get the net return. And one more major expenditure is the tax. As somebody have in the starting of the discussion, they have told there is no tax free. It's something like that before 2018, I guess it used to be like that. Long-term capital gains are exempt, but after 2018, long-term capital gains are also taxable. What is long-term and what is short-term? I think it will again. I'll give a brief. Long-term capital gain. Long-term means if you held more than 12 months, then it will be considered as a long-term. If you held for less than 12 months, then it will be considered as a short-term. And for long-term capital gains, you have to pay 10% of the tax. Whereas in case of a short-term capital gain, you have to pay the 15% of the tax. For the people who are just who are not earning, who are below the range of 5 lakh, who are earning below the range of 5 lakhs, they no need to pay any amount. And these are the terms used by the brokerage companies. If you open a demat account, these are the terms that you'll get to know. What is the MIS, margin intraday square off? Margin intraday square off is nothing but if you want to do intraday, okay, this is the option that you have to choose. And the CNC, cash and carry, if you want to just buy and hold the share for the for the lifetime or for some 2 or 3 days or for some other period, then you have to go to the CN. You have to click the option of CNC and MKT, market order. You can buy the stock at the market price. Okay, whatever the market price that when you are buying the stock, it will take that price. And limit. Limit is nothing but, suppose for example the ITC share price, it is quoting us 206 rupees, and you want to buy it at 205 rupees. Then you can limit that when you can specify the price like 205, and if it goes to 205 to 207, like that you can specify the limit. In between it will take. Okay, and the SL, stop loss. Stop loss is nothing but the fixing the maximum losses. And I was immediate or cancel order is nothing but you can it will take only just your order will be there only in the some 1 minute or 2 minutes, like that. If it doesn't happen, then it will automatically cancel. Difference between trigger. So, just a minute. Vanchika, I think we are going out of time. I'll explain you further in detail after this one. Sorry. And next, when you are supposed to invest in the stock market, as Warren Buffett only told, he has started at the age of 11. And if you ask him, he will now also tell that I have started I would have started even before that. Okay. So I think as soon as you start, it is very better to generate some revenue or something like that. Okay. So is the thing. These are the actually mythbusters about the stock market. Okay. Investing with the long-term perspective will always give profit. It will not happen like that. Okay. I'll just show you this one. Bajaj Finance. If you have invested 2008, it has become 4,800. It is a long-term perspective and it has some 12 years. It has given you very good return. If you take the Reliance Communications, if you would have invested some 1 lakh rupees, it would have become just only a very minimal amount, 1 rupee. From 2008, it is 540 rupees, and 2020, it is now just 1 rupee. Okay, so it entirely depends upon the company that you are investing. Okay, it's not like a general rule. If you are investing for the long term, you will definitely get returns. Don't believe that. It depends on the performance of the company. And next one is the diversification always works. Sometimes the diversification won't work. Like if you are an aggressive investor, if you want to make a risky investment, then diversification is not for you. Even if you take the example of Rakesh Jhunjhunwala, he has made a huge amount of investment in the Titan. Okay, it has made a huge returns, and whatever the losses that he is getting after investing in some other companies, that has been setting off with the profit that he got from the Titan company. And somebody can tell like investing is very simple. Actually, investing is not very simple. If it would have been simple, then everyone would have started investing, and maybe many of you or many of us would have been Warren Buffett. So it's not simple investing. And high risk means high return. This is the general thing I heard. High risk. If you take high risk, you will definitely get high returns. No, nothing will work in the stock market. Even though if you take a high risk, there are pretty good chances that you'll get a low returns. Okay. And investing in stock market requires a lot of money. No, it doesn't require any lot of money. You can just start with even by 100 rupees or 50 rupees. There are even stocks of 8 rupees or 9 rupees. Yes Bank is quoting us 14 rupees. Okay, you can start investing at that amount also. And the major thing that I want to conclude is patience and perseverance. If you want to invest and if you want to be in the stock market, the basic two things that you should have with the patience and perseverance. If you check this chart, Warren Buffett at the age of 56 years only, if you check the 1.4 some amount, it is not being visible. If you check the chart at the age of 56, he has a net worth, but it is not that huge. And after, if you check at the time of 83 years, it has been gone to, he became a richest investor and richest human being in the world. Okay, at one point of time. So you should have some patience, and you should believe in the company in your investing. And if the company is not going as you are thinking, then it's better to rethink your decision once again, and you just take a call based on that. It's not like just you invest in only one company, irrespective of it is making losses or profits. It depends. And the perseverance. Sometimes you'll incur losses, sometimes you'll incur profits. Okay, that will get set off. Sometimes you'll incur huge losses. Okay, at that time, if you want to be invested in stock, if you want to be in the stock market, then you have to bear the losses and you have to generate the profits. Okay, so that is the case. Hereby I'm concluding my presentation. Thank you very much. And if you have any doubts, you can ask me. And if you have any questions, you can directly mail me to the email ID. I've given it to you. Rupesh Calculations, it's good. Yeah, done, guys. Sorry for taking more time. Yeah, thank you, Majaruddin.
Great session, Rupesh. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Arjun.